Hey Soulshine friends, it's B, and I am back with some really exciting things to talk about today. I have the courage today, and hopefully I am prepared to do this. I feel like I am. I've been doing a lot of research, and I am nervous, and I'm scared because I need to be honest, but I'm gonna do it. And I don't know if you can hear it or not, but there are bees all around me, and they're these fuzzy big ones that are just really cool. They follow me around like crazy, and it's one of the things I want to talk to you about, and there's like 4 of them around me all the time, so I wanted to talk to you about that today. But I have so many really big things that I wanted to discuss. First, the video that I made yesterday and the one I made last month were introductions because of my fear. I had this plan to do a long time ago, and for whatever reason, I'm facing this fear today and bringing it to you. So bear with me as I work out all the kinks. I am going to do everything I can not to edit my videos, so you get a real feel for what's actually happening. So I have lots of notes in front of me and water now as I'm super thirsty. But I made this video yesterday and a brief introduction about what I wanted Soulshine to be. And I kept using the word ascension and consciousness and enlightenment, and I didn't really define what that meant. I assumed, because if you fell onto my video, that you knew how to define that, but I'm finding that it just didn't make sense even to me as I was playing the video back to myself. So here I am, and I am, these are all based on my terms. These are all things that I've figured out for myself, and these are the ways that I define ascension and enlightenment and consciousness for myself, in hopes that I can make it as simple as possible for you too, because as I was saying yesterday, that defining things has been super duper beneficial for me. So ascension is defined by me as rising to a higher level. It can be in anything: education, enlightenment, grades in school. You're rising to a different level. Consciousness, the state of being awake and aware of your surroundings. So I noticed the butterflies yesterday. I'm noticing the bees around. There are 3 robins sitting right there. When I woke up this morning, I noticed that there were 50 more buds on my rose bushes right out front. Being conscious and mindful of the things that are happening around you. Enlightenment. Some of this is taken from Google, just because it was easier to understand, and the dictionary, so Webster. The action or state of attaining spiritual knowledge or insight, in particular for like Buddhism, for example, the awareness which frees a person from a cycle of rebirth. European intellectual movement in the 17th and 18th century emphasizes reason and individualism rather than tradition, which argues that human life and character could be improved through the use of education and reason. Sounds kind of technical, so what does all that mean? It didn't even make sense as I was reading it to you. So for me, ascension, and what I have been dealing with for the last couple of years, is rising to a higher level of purpose. What is the purpose of my life? Why was I given life? Why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing with my life? And I feel like I've been asking myself that for a long time. I almost told you how old I was, but I'm not gonna do that. I think I may have in another video, but hope you forgot. No, I'm kidding. I'll keep going. Consciousness. being alive, being aware, being in this moment right now, with the birds chirping and the bees buzzing and the gnat that almost flew up my nose, like being here right now, not thinking about what's happening inside of my house, not thinking about what I need to get at the grocery store, not thinking about, bills, but being right here, right now with you. And then consciousness also involves people, situations, and surroundings and feelings of each passing moment, one by one in each particular moment, being conscious of all of that and the things that are around you, the bees, the butterflies yesterday, all of that. And enlightenment is an awareness for me that brings radical change, usually. Can be just change, but for me it's been radical. It's a new way of living. It's a new way of seeing the world. It's a new way of understanding your place in it, your purpose. Being enlightened is having kind of a light shined. I'm gonna go with shined on something. The way we live, the way we love, the way we eat, the way we feel about sex. Is it sinful? Is it cool? Are you free to have sex? Is eating organic the best way to live? Is eating a gluten-free lifestyle, which is something that I have been working on for a long time and desperately trying to stick to for a long time. But our religious beliefs, and what do you believe now in this moment, consciously in this moment, mindfully in this moment, versus the way you were raised, versus the way society approaches religion, the way your church or synagogue or wherever you worship. How do you feel about all of that? And traditions, social norms. What is normal? Not me. I'm weird and I love it because I'm cool, because I'm not normal. And laugh, feel free, because it's funny. And I have a 6-year-old little girl that when kids at kindergarten call her weird, I give her a high five. And I'm like, girl, you are cool because you're weird. We got to make the new norm an enlightened version, a change, an upgrade, an ascension to the way things used to be. So I have been in this ascension, rising to a higher level of consciousness, rising to a higher level of awareness, rising to a higher level of seeing things, believing in things, eating things. It seems like once you start on this path, and I didn't choose it. I didn't ask to be enlightened. I didn't ask to step into higher consciousness. I didn't ask to be in this process. And I'll tell you more about that probably in another video, but how it all started for me. But what is my normal? I don't even like that word normal anymore at all. And I love air quotes. I'm trying to do it over here so you don't see it, but you're going to know what it is because I'm doing air quotes. But templates, I use that word often to describe my life now versus the way I was raised, the way my parents were raised, the way my grandparents were raised, the way I see my friends raising their children. What templates are they working from? There's nothing right or wrong about any of them. They're just all different, and that's beautiful. That's the best part of all of this. But the templates that once I stepped into this journey, they started appearing in loud ways. And I was challenged in a place I could actually feel it. I'm white, just in case you didn't see that. But I don't see color in people at all. My daughter, since the day she was born, if I'm saying, hey, look at that person over there, they have a really great hairstyle. I'll say the person in the white shirt or the person in the green pants. That person could be black, blue, orange, purple, gray, black, or rainbow. I try to define people not by skin color. I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you're straight. I don't care if you're transsexual, bisexual. I don't care. I don't see it. I love people. It's a template. And if I wasn't, I didn't grow up in an era where that was acceptable. I'll date any color. I'll date any race. I see people, and I love people, and I'm raising my daughter that way because I don't look at a dog and name it. I know a lot of people that do. I just say, that's a beautiful dog. And then you get curious about breeds. That's cool, but that's something different, it feels. Because they're supposed to be different, maybe. I don't know. But then you get into this crossbreeding, and they're beautiful animals that come out. I just don't believe in segregating anymore in any way, shape, or form. It's a template that I'm trying to rewrite. I can't get rid of where I was raised or the era that I was brought up in. But I'm rewriting a new one for me. The way I eat. I choose a gluten-free loaf style. It could be a loaf style. It can be a lifestyle too. But I'm not great at it. I have fallen off that wagon and jumped back on, and I've done the whole organic gig for so long, and I've run out of money and wondered, how am I going to buy milk when it's $6 a gallon? And I just go without milk. So I believe in eating clean. I believe in eating in a wholesome way, and I'm desperately trying to rewrite that template. I'm a type 1 diabetic. I hate defining myself as that, actually. It didn't feel good. I have type 1 diabetes. I am not that person, but I have type 1 diabetes. I wear two gadgets. One's a continuous glucose monitor on one side, and one's an insulin pump on the other. Without insulin, I die. It doesn't matter what I eat or don't eat. I need it to break down any food. So I should cut out sugar, you would think, but I love sugar. That's been a challenge, and my daughter does too. So I'm working to rewrite that, but you have so many challenges today with, red dye 40 and packaged goods and canned goods and what's right and what's wrong, and I feel like I'm on this craziness roller coaster all the time. But that's what this journey has been about for me, is finding what's important and sticking to it. Writing it for myself and sticking to it. And staying present in the moment, which in the darkest parts, especially in the last year, I have been miserable with. And I feel like I've left my daughter and my sister, who lives with me, kind of fend for yourself for a couple of hours because I need to get lost. And then a couple of hours, it's like 3, and I'm still in the house, and they are too, but I didn't see them. I've gotten lost in my head for so long trying to figure out what all of this means. And thankfully, I'm this enlightenment. There's much more light on the darkness of where I was, and I have come so far, but I'm still doing it. So there's a whole lot of topics that I just threw out at you to define for me what ascension means, what enlightenment means, what consciousness means. And that is such a tiny, 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 tiny piece of the bigger picture of all of that. But to try not to make this video 2 hours, because I could talk about it easily for that long, and I love to talk, so I don't want to bore you, but that's where I am. I'm rising to a higher level of consciousness. I'm awake. And I'm rewriting new templates for my life. And for the first time, I'm going to tell you, I'll be 42 in 2 weeks. For the first time in 42 years, I realized that I'm in charge. You want to know why? Because my self-worth, not self-esteem, not self-consciousness, my self-worth has been challenged. And I didn't realize that for a long, long time. So when I said yesterday in my first intro, that in relationships that I actually let people in and you can see the most vulnerable part of me. I am clairvoyant, I am clairsentient, and I am claircognizant. That's weird. I talk to angels. Yep, I do. They're with me right now. They're laughing, which is great. And I lose my train of thought, so help me, guys. Self-worth, thank you. I found that my gifts, because that's what they are, and I have been awakened to them in the past year. Although being an empath, I have been that my whole life. But I defined it. Defining, it's so important, and it was so vital for me. But being an empath, being sensitive and taking on other people's energy and energy around me from a very, very young age, knowing what people intuitively needed from a very, very young age, I set myself up to challenge my self-worth. Because not all my friends could do that. Not all my friends cared what other people felt or thought about what their families thought or their parents thought. Or it led me on this path of destructive perfectionism. What the hell is perfect? In a damn template that I've worked on or looked at that's perfect from the beginning of time. And mine isn't either. And the big thing, because I totally, my angels didn't say this, I think this is someone from my past, that my shit stinks. I need to say it. I am not perfect, and I am messing up every day as I write and rewrite and recreate this. And so many of you, I'm picturing my cousins and my family who I feel have figured this out so much damn faster than me. And I'm frustrated. But I get it now. I do. Self-worth. What is it? I'm flipping the page because I got notes. I don't want to forget them. I watched an incredible TED Talk by this beautiful woman. Her name is Adia Gooden. And she has a long list of incredible credentials. I'm going to link that below so you can take a look at her TED Talk. And I want to highlight a few things. But she coined the phrase unconditional self-worth. And I love that in the biggest way, because self-worth, very briefly, is defined by me, not Miss Gooden, defined by me and a beautiful friend of mine as totally forgot. How do I define it? Oh, self-worth is how you see yourself, how you love yourself, What are your efforts, your thoughts, your heart, your love, your being, your body, your insight, your thoughts? What is that worth? I'm not talking money. I'm not talking about a cost of something. I'm talking about an internal feeling. And what are the things that build your self-worth? And what are the things that take away from your self-worth? I thought as a kid that being perfect was going to make my self-worth. I didn't know it then. I didn't have a definition for it then. But I thought by being perfect, I was more lovable. Do you know how hard it is to be perfect? So hard that I left college because I couldn't be perfect. I couldn't get straight A's. I couldn't show up to class. I couldn't put down the beer and the boys. I couldn't be real. I couldn't be fun. I couldn't be me and still be perfect at the same time. I couldn't balance my friends and my social life and my academics anymore. Cool thing is that I didn't know what I know now, but looking back, I didn't need that degree to live my mission or my purpose. But I have felt and struggled with the fact that I didn't have that damn piece of paper to say that I had a credential or a title at the end of my name. I wasn't worth what's up here, what's in here. What I have to share wasn't worth it because I didn't have a title. I want to say bad words right now, but forget that. I'm going to try to make this PG. I have a sailor's mouth, and so I may rate some things if I get going as rated R. So you just don't watch it with your kids. I'll try to be mindful of that because I have little people in my house. But forget that. When someone loves you, what does that feel like? And what is that feeling of their love worth to you? Well, I was defining myself by that feeling instead of the other way around. I had it all ass backwards for a long time. Then I read a couple years ago, and the 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. I like definitions. I'm going to keep saying this. But I defined what my love language is. And I took it even further because that's me. I am a Taurus sun and moon. And I have an unquenchable. Is that a word? Unquenchable? I'm always thirsty for more knowledge. I keep digging until I get it, until I just need to know. I dig and I dig and I dig, whether it's in my soul, whether it's in my heart, whether it's in books and literature. I read. This world wide web that we all live on, I feel like I've bottomed it out. That's probably where I got lost for so many hours, forgetting to be conscious and aware with my family that's around me and really needed me to sit on the floor and play with them. I've apologized in that moment. I did. I brought myself back to consciousness and mindfulness and apologized for being not present and explained why. That's a new template too. In parenting, I want my sister and my daughter to know why I'm in a bad mood without having to throw anybody under the bus or change their opinion of someone. I'm just stressed out because of something. I'm not present right now because I'm in my head trying to figure out X, Y, Z. And as soon as I say that, there is a level of that happens in my home. And then I get a hug. Mommy, it's okay. Mommy, you're going to be okay. Mommy, I love you. My kid is like magic. I don't know if all of your kids are like this because I only have one, but I'm telling you, my kid, she's a healer. And I cry a lot, so just ignore me. It's going to happen a lot. So I've been crying all morning trying to get ready for this. This is so silly. Anyway, unconditional. And I just got a warning that my battery's low. Of course it is, because I'm in this. But unconditional self-worth is valuing who you are. What makes up who you are? What are your morals, your beliefs, your feelings, what turns you on? What makes your soul shine? What is it? Value that within yourself and don't give it away to people that don't deserve it and don't give you back an exact mirror of that or better. That's what I've done for so long. I waited for people that were going to show me that they saw me, that they saw my worth, because I thought about it, but I didn't believe it until this year. I have told you that I'm in the process of a divorce, and so many things in divorce and relationships and breakups and so many of those things challenge us because they challenge our core values. They challenge our sense of worth and self-worth. And when you know it, when you are good at it, when so many of my family members that I see as my friends as well, they are strong, and I am too. I am ridiculously strong, but I allow that challenge of my worth to make me, I question myself. I start questioning, well, am I really worth it? That's why I've had such anxiety about starting this channel. Who am I? And what is it that I have to say that anybody's going to care about? Because I don't have credentials at the end of my name. I don't know. I've spoken to several of my friends today that I've had my entire life, and I haven't spoken to them in several months outside of, Facebook and social media, which is wonderful. Don't get me wrong, ladies. But what they said to me was absolute validation that they saw exactly what I was trying to say in my video yesterday. And that I am worth it, that they resonated, that they want to hear more. Okay, I am someone that knows what I'm talking about because I feel it, I know it, I've read it, I believed it, and I'm doing my damnedest to live it every day. I want to live on new terms. I want to see things in new ways. I want to create a new world for my daughter to live in. And I'm passionate about it. That's why I'm crying. I'm not sad. I just realized I have incredible bags under my eyes today, and I don't care. I didn't sleep last night because I was afraid of talking to you guys. This is so silly. But your self-worth is how you value yourself. It has nothing to do with your achievements. That's confidence. That's esteem, self-esteem. Because that can be measured, compared to someone else. You measure your self-esteem and your self-confidence based on what you're doing that's the same as someone else in a sport, whether you're winning or losing. On this ascension process and this enlightenment and this consciousness movement that so many of us are in and on, you don't measure yourself against someone else. You stand next to them. In difference and in similarities. I don't care if you're gluten-free. I don't care if you're black or purple or green or rainbow or if you have 6 kids or none. You want to be my friend? You want to talk about God and talking to angels, and you want to talk about unconditional love being at the absolute core of who you are to humanity, to the world, to the earth. We're friends. This is where I am. And raising my daughter in a world that she doesn't have to compare herself to someone else. Now, ego is going to make us do that. I despise ego, but I have an incredible respect for it because it's a way of protecting ourselves. It's a mask. Your ego is the mask that you put on to protect the most vulnerable places of ourselves. And my entire life, until the last year especially, but 3 years, I have had a mask on, and I was a shapeshifter for sure. I feel like Moana. You can tell I'm a mom of a young kid. And what's his face? Where he can shapeshift into the bird, and no, I can't think. Tattoo guy. What do you call him? I can't think. Forgive me. Anyway, a shapeshifter. So no matter what group of people I was around, I could become more vulnerable. I could become less vulnerable. I could be an incredible student. I could be a boy. I could be, I'm your friend. I'm your pal. I could drink with people and drink other people under the table. I could smoke and joke, and then I could turn around and, be a farmer, and I could shapeshift into wherever I needed to be. And I wasn't being true to myself. I let my ego, my mask, keep my vulnerability safe. And that's what this channel is trying to take off that mask to the world and show people that it's safe to love unconditionally. There are no races in this world. There's just one. And that's the human race. There are no religions in this world. There's a divine power. I don't care what you call him or her. I say God because that's what I believe. But I study world religions, and I appreciate all names. Unconditional self-worth. I want to go back to that for a second, so I apologize. Unconditional self-worth is loving yourself in the same way you love everyone else in your family. At least that's my lesson. And going back to the 5 love languages, I'm so sorry, I'm so sniffly. I should have brought tissues out here. My love language is quality time. What are the 5 love languages? I'm just being told to say that. The 5 love languages are time, quality time, and words of affirmation, physical touch, gifts or receiving gifts, giving and receiving, and then acts of service. So there's 2 parts of me. I want to be loved I want you to spend time with me. That's the way you show me love. Show me that you love me by spending time with me. Come have coffee, come have a beer, come have apple cider maybe, but or twisted tea. I like that a lot. Come talk to me. Be deep though. Let's not talk about the weather. I mean, we can. But I want your time. I want to get in your head. I want to know what's in your heart. I want to feel you. I want quality time. 15 minutes of quality conversation to me on the phone with my friends, in an email, even in a text today. That sounds so cold, but that's important to me. But I show love by acts of service. I'm changing that. It's evolving right now. But the old version of me especially, when someone was hurting, when someone was in trouble, I didn't know what to say. I found the words now. I have a lot of guidance. It's true. I have to give credit. I do. And but if you were hurting or you were in trouble or you were in need, if you called me, I'd be the first person at your doorstep. And I'll clean your house, I'll watch your kids, I'll pick up your kids, I'll buy your groceries. I will take care of you. My life path number in numerology is a 2. That was awkward. So sorry. Didn't mean for you to see that, but that was meant to happen. I think I'm not supposed to say that. I think I'll stop and take that as a sign. We'll go into numerology another time. I can tell I'm going to go on a tangent. Okay, I'm listening. But acts of service. I show love by taking care of you. And I want to receive love from you by talking to you, spending time with you. Family time is incredible to me. One of my most favorite things in all of the world to do is to have my entire family, which is absolutely ginormous, by the way. And the personalities are so different. It is like some of us live emotionally worlds away, and we have such dynamic diversity in my family. But the most beautiful part of my family is that when we're all together, none of the diversity matters. Even if we're thinking it, even if it's like, well, you're a Democrat and you're a Republican and you voted for this person and I voted for this person, you leave it at the doorstep and you come in and you tell stories that we have told for 40 plus years. And I'm among the youngest, in my generation at least. And in fact, I might even be the youngest. But we tell the same damn stories over and over again, and I laugh just as hard at the 500th time that I've heard the story of my uncle, or my grandmother, or when her teeth fell out. I mean, I'm an idiot, and I love it. I love it. That kind of quality time with my family, when we are all just together, is priceless to me. When I'm sitting on the couch with my sister and my daughter and we're curled up and we're just talking about girl stuff, that's priceless to me. I can't get that back. I love it. I'm totally going off on a tangent, and I feel it. The bee is right there buzzing to tell me that I'm staying on target. But know what your love languages are. Know who you are. Know how you want to be loved, and know how you give love back to the world. And don't take less. You deserve exactly what you know is in your heart. So if you meet someone that doesn't know how to speak your love language, and you don't feel that it is something that you can show or teach or help them learn, or they could acquire, or they're even interested in, move on, sister. Go. Take round 2. Or spend time talking about what really matters. And if there is a real, genuine love where you want to recondition yourself to love someone the way they need to, love is worth it. Unconditional self-worth. Know what you deserve. Know who you are. What are your values? What means something to you? What is the most important things to you? And there's going to be a long list. My mother, when I was a teenager, and I love this story, told me that I was going to date a lot of people. I remember being heartbroken by the first boy. Oh, sorry for the wiggle. My tripod's coming tomorrow. It'll be easier. But my mom, the most beautiful soul in all the world, quite honestly. I love you, Mom. taught me when I was a teenager and I was heartbroken by the first boy that broke my soul in half. She said, this is happening for a reason. Go get a piece of paper, she says. And I'm like, Mom, you're tripping. Why? Just go get it. And I want you to write down in this relationship as a teenager, what did you love about this boy? And what did you absolutely despise? And then put it in a safe place, because the next relationship that you're in, you're going to add more to that list. So as you get older and as you date, you're going to have absolutes that the person that I want to spend my forever with is going to have these, however many it is, things. Be careful not to be a perfectionist. Be careful not to overdo it. But we're talking about the big things, your core values. And I want to talk to you about that. I need to get permission to talk about that. But and make sure that that person that you're with mirrors it. And stand strong in what you know you deserve. We all deserve to be loved. And we don't have to be perfect. We don't have to have degrees after our names. But if that's important to you, have 50 of them. But if you don't, or you can't, or for whatever reason, if that isn't a core value for you, don't worry like I did. Live your life and be proud of yourself and stand in a conscious strength. I lost that. Or maybe I never found it, or maybe I didn't define it. But I didn't get it right a couple times. And I'm getting it now. And I have so many things that I want to talk at, and I'm already at 40 minutes, and I have no idea, once again, if I'm making any sense whatsoever. But I'm going to post this because I'm just going to keep going, and bear with me as I really work out the kinks. I have everything written down, and I haven't looked down nearly enough. I will put that unconditional self-worth from Adia Gooden below. And I may do another video about self-worth if I listen back to this video and it isn't what I want to say. So just bear with me as I am literally being pushed so hard out the door to just start talking and just practice. I am being told practice, 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 practice. So bear with me. Carrie Samuels from numerologist.com is an amazing human being. I love her. She has affirmations that are based on your life path number. I love numbers. I might even be slightly obsessed with them.